If you didn't know, for the past 4 months, I have been solo creating an Undertale-inspired emotional rhythm-based video game. This game is based on my childhood memories, such as my old toys and play pretend, that I want to recreate in game form. In the last devlog, I established my first area of the game, the hotel, and in this devlog, it's coding time. For the coding platform, I'm using PyCharm. Okay, I know it's not Unity or Unreal, but it was my first coding language and I'm most comfortable with it. To get started, I completed the basics by establishing and adding all my assets as well as setting up the folders and basic Pygame setup. Next, I decided to code my movable characters in. So I did this by creating a separate Python file and adding in the movements and draw code that are present of a class called Bends, which is my main character's name, and the name I gave to my first plushie as a child. I don't quite remember how it got its name, but it sounded nice as a child. Anyway, I then connected this code to my main code to create a moving sprite, and with a few additions in the code, I gave it the animations. I didn't have too many problems with this, as this was all stuff I did before.
Hey, just a quick break here to tell you to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. For a small channel, any of those would help the reach of the channel a lot. Now, back to the video.
Moving on, I need to add in collisions and stuff for my rooms. And why is this so difficult? Okay, probably a skill issue, but at the start, I could easily do it by telling my code to have a collide rect function that tells whether or not I'm touching a wall and limit my character's movement based on it. However, this doesn't work with multiple rooms, as each room has different walls. I first tried to have various variables for each room, but that quickly turned out to be a disaster. So I searched for solutions and found I should use a dictionary. This was my first time using a dictionary, and with a little help, I was able to successfully create a usable system that could be implemented in every room. So to explain it, in my dictionary called rooms, I have each room's name as an object in the dictionary, such as Ben's room or lobby, and inside of the Ben's room, there will be other variables that are consistent throughout the code, such as the walls, background, and interactables. And inside each of those individual variables, we have the informations that are needed to run the code for them. It took me a few hours of sweat coding to finally add in the collision boxes for the walls and furniture, and the interactions for each object followed a similar establishing system until I reached my biggest roadblock yet: actual interactions. I have never done anything sort of like this, and trying to figure it out for the first time was so grueling. I attempted to go with a text count variable that checks which text number I am currently in the total texts. This system should have been successful, but error and error and error. Then only after looking at other codes and projects that I realized my mistakes, and eventually I finally could interact with objects. So how this works is each object has its own rectangle that shows where it can be interacted with, and each item has its text and text amount. And each click of a button changes the text until it runs out of text, to which you can continue moving. The text box disappears. Following this short victory, I treated myself with some gaming time, but more importantly, time to add in the actual flavor text for the code. I tried to go with a regular vibe in the flavor text, which a few of them making fun of your height. Now, I'm not the tallest person out there, so I can't really be talking, but it felt funny and aligned with my theme. I was hyped with this, and continued by using a similar system to add in room transitions, which means I need to do all the interactions and walls again. And for all you game devs out there, is there a better way to do this? Or is PyCharm just not the right choice? After a few painful hours, I got the walls done for all 4 of the rooms, as well as all required variables for the rooms I built in my previous devlog. I continued on with adding a noise system that plays specific sound effects when the character touches a specific terrain, like adding water sounds when you are in the pool, which was pretty easy, with adding in a checker that sees when your character position lines up with the sound positions. However, it meant the sounds were being played every frame, which means it actually sounds like a sonic boom. And my lazy eye was not ready to tackle that problem yet though. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the video. That's all for this devlog, and if you have any suggestions for this game or anything game related, feel free to comment them. If you want to see more updates for this project, I'll be posting them on my channel. And for the next devlog, I'll be focusing a lot more on the sound aspect by composing and adding in sound effects. I try to go with a regular vibe in the flavor text, with few of them making fun of your kite.
Oh, you're still here. See you, I guess.